All right, welcome back to the Now Morning Show here on TTT. Of course, you notice we have a nice new set for you. It's International Women's Day. We're celebrating ourselves in fine style today for sure. And of course, one of my co-hosts for today is Whitney Husbands. And we're here to speak with clinical psychologist, organizational psychologist, Kelly McFarlane. Good morning to you, Ms. McFarlane.
Good morning.
Happy International Women's Day to
Same
you.
to you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So were you able to hear Lisa and Candice Riley just now?
I was very moving.
Yeah, so talk to us about what is it that we as women can do to cope with such trauma?
The thing about trauma is after a trauma happens, you know, the process that happens in the brain is your brain is really trying to make sense of it. This is why you have these up and down moments of anger, sadness, regret, resentment, just all of these different emotions, all of these different thoughts, trying to make sense of it. And that is normal. First of all, we need to normalize that process. We need to know that breaking down, feeling confused, emotions fluctuating quickly is part of the process. That's where healing comes from. Yeah. And it is important to allow it. As you mentioned, Miss Riley, and she said that she didn't want to break down in front of her kids, but and that's completely understandable as long as she has an outlet, if it's a friend, a family member, a therapist, somewhere where she can have those emotions. Because
so it's important to grieve.
It is, of course. Grieving is a natural process it's the process whereby your brain asks all the questions it needs to ask, tries to releases what it needs to release, make sense of what it needs to make sense of, even though it can't make sense. But we need to try to go through that process, and then we start to regain some sense of normalcy, some sense of balance eventually. But
is there any time frame though for people to treat with that, to get through that, or is it that each his own? It might take different times for different people.
Yeah, each his own for sure. But why is it that we see many times that females shy away from therapy and not understanding that when you hear you need to go to a therapist, it means that you're crazy? But it's not that you're crazy. It's the same way if you're not feeling well, your body's not feeling well, you'll go to a general practitioner.
Correct.
But when it comes to your mind, you need healing for your mind. And let us know a little bit more about the importance of therapy on a day-to-day basis that I believe, everyone should have.
Exactly. And if you are somebody who has never had a down day, has never felt rejection, has never felt guilt, has never felt any other, any type of psychological injury, let me know how. I will market it, make plenty money. Because we are humans. We have an emotional center in our brain for a reason. Most times we can regulate our emotions depending on what we experience, but many times things really hit us harder. We all lose people, even if it's from a breakup or from death or a job or a friend. You know, we all go through things. And I think the problem, based on what you're asking, is a lot of times we reject the idea that, hey, I'm going through something and I'm not coping very well. And we shelve it and we repress it. And it comes out in other ways. It comes out in our bodies. We get pains in our shoulders, in our necks for days. You can't eat well. You can't sleep well, right? You start lashing out at other people, and you continue to project, you know, whatever is going on, instead of looking inward and saying, okay, I need to deal with something.
Now, Kelly, looking inward, I know many times you will see females with insecurities. I know I have my insecurities. I'm not going to lie, especially where looking at yourself in the mirror every single day and you will be seeing someone that you don't like physically or whatever plays in your mind. What you could tell, especially our females right now, because it's International Women's Day, how we could deal with our insecurities on a day-to-day basis. Because many times persons may not have the cash to see a therapist because whatever is going on in their minds, it may play a lot in their day-to-day activities or throughout their lives. But what you could tell a female, or all the females right now, how could we deal with our insecurities as women?
I would say look inward. Where did it start? This particular insecurity I have. When did I first think this thought? When did I first feel this feeling? Was it that somebody told me this when I was 5? Well, not 5. When I was 15, when I was 12? Was it experiences that I had in school? Where is the evidence that this thing is true? If I look at my life and I look at how people respond to me, react to me, and also why am I being so hard on myself? Yeah. Why am I not okay with imperfection? Because what is perfection? What I think is perfection and is the perfect execution of something. You might think it's total nonsense and you're just not attracted to it. You don't think it makes sense, right? So a lot of questions, and I like to recommend journaling. Sit and write your thoughts down. Get it out of here and onto paper, and sometimes it really helps. Almost as much as talking, because we know that talking is very important, talking
very
about things. Correct.
Yeah.
So sometimes journaling is a nice way to talk to yourself in a very healthy way.
I talk to myself all the time.
There you go.
I know, but I mean, I put it on paper, but I will start to, even in the car, I'll be like, what's going on with you today? Was it okay? I'm guessing once you don't answer yourself back, you're safe.
Right. But that is so important. I know you just say it in passing, but it is so important, exactly what you said. What is going on? Question things. Sometimes you feel a little uneasiness and you don't sit and you say, okay, well, why am I feeling this? You just go ahead and then it spills out onto the people that you end up interacting with
and
during the day.
Correct.
Right. Correct.
We want to thank you so much, Kelly McFarlane, for sharing with us. And for those of you out there who are listening, remember, go through those stages of grief. It's okay for you to grieve because it is healthy, it's natural, and it helps you to cope.